My name is James Cummngs. I'm currently the assistant superintendent in Shrewsbury. I grew up in Holliston. Both my parents were teachers, oldest of four. All four went into education. When I went out of the Holliston High School into college, my plan was to be a history teacher. As it turned out, I up in college had the opportunity to do quite a bit of work with the Special Olympics. Found that to be a great passion of mine. I decided to become a special education teacher. As a special education teacher, went back to school at Simmons College and earned a master's degree. That led to a 9-year teaching career, both about 7 years at the elementary level and 2 at the middle level, where I had the opportunity to not only teach, which I loved, but almost inadvertently take on a lot of leadership responsibilities. I started the first program in Fountain Hills, Arizona for students with intensive special needs, which was fantastic. Basically just given a budget and staff and go at it. So you learn a lot with that kind of experience. And that led to my last position, creating the first at-risk program in Framingham in the middle schools for some very, very at-risk 7th and 8th grade students, where again, I had the opportunity to be very creative, do a lot with innovation, with project-based learning, service learning, etc., which was fantastic. At that point, at the end of my teaching career, I really had no intention not to be a teacher for the rest of my life, if you will. And the principal out of the blue came up to me one day and said, "I think you'd make a great principal." That took me by surprise. He had signed me up for a program to basically take a look at the principalship. So I went. It was in the spring of that second year of teaching at Fuller Middle School in Framingham. And in that program, I had it dawned on me that it might be something I could not only do, but something I could be very good at. As luck would have it, there was an opening at another middle school in town for a vice principal. I applied, never thinking in a million years I'd get it. I managed to get it. 2 years later, became principal. Was able to, with the work of many, many folks, help move a pretty good school into a very good, if not a great school. And at that point, I realized that I thought I had the skill set, I thought I had the experience, and certainly had the desire to see if I could work in a district in which we have a whole series, or a district-wide approach in all schools like the one we created at Walsh Middle School. From there, I went to Shrewsbury, had a great opportunity. I had gone, in the meantime, to Boston College, earned a doctorate degree, and had a chance in Shrewsbury. Although my experiences had been very diverse, I'd never worked in a district that was really high performing as an entire district. And I've learned a great deal for the last 2 years there, which has been fantastic. I do live in town. I live over on George Hill Road. I have 4 young children. 3 of them are in the district, and 1 is in preschool, so she's on the way. I've been a resident of Grafton for about 12 years now. I've been very active in terms of coached a number of different sports. I'm on the finance committee. Very passionate about Grafton and seeing Grafton succeed and continue to improve. For a while, I've thought, and this preceded even taking the Shrewsbury job, that it might be a district, not just because it's my home community, which I care a lot about, but the needs of the district might match up well with my skill set. To the point where the day that I took the Shrewsbury job, when I met informally with the superintendent, we basically came up with an informal agreement that I'd work in Shrewsbury for 3 full years, with the one caveat that if Grafton ever did open up their superintendent position, I would apply for that position. So that was 2 years ago, and here I am today. I was pleasantly surprised that there was an opening. So what drew me here, vision for leading the Grafton Public Schools. It was interesting today. I had a fantastic day today meeting with so many students, so many staff, and some wonderful parents. There's certainly a very, very strong foundation here in Grafton. I'd love to be a part of taking that to the next step, if you will. In terms of that vision, I think moving more towards that K-12, creating a true K-12 district, where there's a great deal of collaboration, vertical alignment. All the pieces fit together in a very, very meaningful way. That goes for curriculum, that goes for instruction, and that goes for student experiences. Obviously, with the restructuring of the district, we moved from 5 schools to 6, I think it's going to be even more important to have that articulation, have that be a seamless experience K through 12. So that experience for students that are leaving Grafton in the 12th grade is both guaranteed and viable. It doesn't depend on the luck of the draw, what teachers you have, what classroom you're in. There are going to be differences with every teacher in terms of style, approach, etc. But that student leaving Grafton High School is going to be incredibly, every single one is going to be incredibly well prepared to move forward in college or the workplace or what have you in the future. I think a lot of that is going to be furthered, that effort is going to be furthered greatly with 2 things in mind, in my mind, anyhow, and that was kind of my thinking going into today, and that was cemented through all the conversations I had today. The creation of true district goals that are, for the most part, not changing every year, that we've got collaboratively, we're creating goals that schools can tie into, that are going to drive what we do, that really define what we're all about. That paired with a vision of where we want to be. And that vision is always going to be evolving, it's going to change. If it's the same next year as it is in 5 years, we're not really addressing the vision correctly. That should be changing as we move forward. And with that, I think the communication is huge. I know that a lot of very positive communication pieces are in place right now. I think there's room for growth in that area, not only by just what's put out in your typical emails, listservs, your typical mechanisms, but that communication paired with great relationships, which I valued greatly. I was worried when I went from being a teacher to an administrator that I'd lose that connection to teaching and learning, those relationship pieces, and I'd be stuck in an office. And I've worked incredibly hard to make sure that it doesn't happen. Just 2 small examples would be that there have been about 10 days in the past 2 years that I haven't been in schools. I've had less than 6 meetings in my office. My office is lovely, it's great. I do have one, but that's not where the meetings should be taking place unless they have to. I go to the cafeteria worker, to the teacher, the administrative assistant, whoever it is, go to where the rubber meets the road, where that teaching and learning is taking place, not only to address the issues, but that's where you develop those relationships, which are going to make us all better. It shouldn't be my ideal as a superintendent, wherever that might be, is when I go into a school, when I go into a classroom, whatever the setting may be, that behavior doesn't change.